So I'm going to use this. Okay. I have 756 divided by 3. Now, basically everything that I'm going to go over right now is the same thing that the guy in the math antics videos is going over. So if you want to go ahead and watch this, you can watch this. If you want to watch him, his graphics are way cooler than my little doodles right now. Okay. You guys know that normally I would be on the Elmo or I'd be on the whiteboard, but this is what we got for now. So remember, I always tell you guys put a little X here so that you remember your procedures. Okay. So remember, when this is our divisor, this is our dividend. We need to see how many times our divisor can go into our dividend. So we're going to be checking the divisibility one by one. So our first question here should be, how many times can 3 go into 7? So we know 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. So we know it's not 3. 9 is way past 7. So we know it's 2. So remember, we stay in our lane up here. And we know it's 2 because, and then we come back down here. 2 times 3 is 6. Remember, we're staying in our lane. And then we're going to subtract. 7 minus 6 is 1. So now our next question should be, how many times can 3 go into 1? Well, guess what? It can't. So this is when we start bringing down our friend over here, the next digit over, to help us out. So now that I've brought my 5 down, we're going to figure out how many times does 3 go into 15? Well, 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 5 is 15. It's a perfect match. So we're going to come all the way back up here in our lane. We're going to put a 5. We're going to follow our procedure going back down. 5 times 3 is equal to 15. Well, 15 minus 15 is 0. Now, we're going to ask ourselves, how many times can 3 go into 0? Well, guess what? It can't. But remember, we need to check all of our digits over here. So since 3 can't go into 0, we need to bring down our 6. Now we ask ourselves, how many times does 3 go into 6? Well, we know 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. Another perfect match. So we're going to come all the way up here in our lane again. We're going to put a 2. Then we have to go all the way back down. So 2 times 3 is 6. I'm running out of room here. You subtract, and your difference is 0. You don't have any remainder because we've used all our digits already. We don't have any more to bring down. So my answer is 252. Ooh, sorry, I got lost there. And like I told you guys, the perfect way to check this is to multiply your quotient times your divisor. And if it equals your dividend, then it checks out. So let's check it over here with multiplication. 252 times, sorry guys, times, hold on, I don't want that to confuse you, 3. So now 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 5 is 15. I put my 5, I carry my 1. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Guess what? Our product and our dividend match out. So my answer is correct. Yeah, because this one has smaller. Okay, let's go with this one instead. Okay, so again, we're checking to see how many times our numbers can go into our digits. So 7 can't go into 1. So if it can't go into 1, we're just going to move over to the next one. So 7 can go into 14, correct? 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. Now, We moved over to the second digit, so we're going to stay right on top of that number. So we know 7 goes into 14 twice. So 2 times 7 would be 14. I'm going to subtract, and I get 0. Now 7 can't go into 0, so I'm going to bring down my 3 to help me out over here. And then I'm going to get, hold on, give me a second. Okay, I think this is where you were getting confused, Ethan. Tell me if this is where you got confused. So
It was.
I have down here. Yes, okay, cool. So 7 can go into 3, right?
Mm-mm.
So now I'm going to go up here and I'm going to put a 0, but I'm not going to go down and subtract. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring down my 5. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, can 7 go into 35? So 7 can go into 35 5 times, right? 7 times 5 is 35. So I'm going to stay back up here in my lane, put a 5. 5 times 7 now is 35. Now I'm going to subtract. Sorry. I get that 0 again. Okay. 7 times 0. So I'm going to bring down that 7. Now 7 goes into 7 one time. 1 times 7 is 7. And then I get a 0. So this right here, this was probably your problem area, okay? Because when you brought down that 3, 7 can't go into 3. So you got to put that 0 here. But instead of going back down and multiplying and subtracting, you're just going to bring the next number down. So it becomes 35, so that it becomes a number that 7 can actually go into. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check it. So I'm going to multiply my quotient times my divisor. So 2,051. Sorry, this is all messy. Times 7. So 1 times 7 is 7. 7 times 5, 35. I'm going to carry my 3. 7 times 0 is 0 plus 3. And then 7 times 2 is 14. Oh, I forgot to box.